live from the scene. I'm in the car with Keanu Reeves and Robert Downey Jr., and we are discussing the future of the John Wick Avengers crossover. Convinced?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's up?
Little touch and go here, but we made it. We are live.
Was
Mike
shaking.
Mike is on
Hey,
the
everybody.
scene. How's
I
everybody
literally just
doing?
boarded. Let me see. Is there a link you want me to? No, I won't share a link. We don't need to share a link. Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear us? We can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah. I don't know if you can see me. I'm in a dark car.
That's cool. You're doing cool things, cooler things than we are right now. So,
It was fun. It was a fun weekend, man. You probably know more that you probably have to fill me in on everything I missed while I was at Comic-Con about Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Give us your rundown. Well, I botched the intro real quick, so everybody tuning in, everybody at home. Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Geeks. We have our man on the scene, Mike. He's down in San Diego right now. He's currently probably being abducted, but he said he's talking to, a bunch of people, and I hope he's okay. Jeff up in their corner right here. How you doing, Jeff? How's
I'm
everybody
doing
doing?
well. Lots of news to talk about from Comic-Con.
Lots of stuff.
And right before Comic-Con.
Exactly.
There's a lot of news this month about upcoming comic books.
Yeah. Let's dive right into it. Mike, give us your recap. How was your day at Comic-Con? How was the events, everything surrounding it? What was your biggest surprise?
Well, I came up good on the Bad Idea book. So I don't know if you know what Bad Idea is. And I should have sent you the thing. Well, actually, it might be on the pictures I sent. Anyway, they have they sell direct to comic shops. They select I think a couple hundred comic shops they sell to any given time. And one of their new titles that they've got coming out is called Planet Death, and it's written by I think the creator of John Wick, and then Robert Venditti is co-writing it with him. So we went to the panel for that, and at the end of the panel, if you can show that you contributed to their Kickstarter, which I don't contribute to Kickstarters, but I faked it till I made it, till I had that book in my hand, my hot little hands. Mm-hmm. And they only give them away. Yeah, so you got to go to their panels, and it's like a preview of Planet Death. I got one, and Stephanie got one. When we left the panel, we looked. I mean, I'm gonna keep it because I collect all the Bad Idea books, and I think Stephanie's keeping hers. But we looked on eBay, and they were going. There was one for 250. There was one for 350 of this book that we had picked up for free. Then we went to the tiki party at night. You might have seen photos from a tiki party that I was at. And they gave us another copy. But I promised my copy to my friend Guy. But anyway, a lot of people got copies of the book at the tiki party. There's probably about 100, 150 people at the tiki party. So now the book is going for about $100 on eBay.
Yeah.
So yeah, these giveaways, Bad Idea is kind of the pioneer of that, the giveaway book that goes for a bunch of money right away. But DC had some. I know there was a Marvel Spider-Gwen, some sort of tie-in with some other mass media thing that and there's the Absolute Batman stuff, a foil ash can. So there's some stuff that was like given away at Comic-Con that you kind of had to be there at a certain time and place, meaning a panel, to get these things, and they go for a pretty penny right now, and we'll see, what happens down the road with it. But cool sneak peeks. You know about the DC Bullet logo coming back, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
But it's only coming back in the movies?
No, it's going to be on all the books beginning in October. And I'm friends with a lady that works in the Warner Brothers design department, and her job was designing, well, not entirely by herself, but the DC booth and some of the stuff they gave away this year. I should have hit her up for some stuff. I might hit her up tomorrow. But anyway, she was telling us about the DC logo and why they changed it again. And it's got something to do with some legal stuff behind the scenes with there's a I didn't know about this, but there's a DC shoe company.
Yeah.
And so there's been some back and forth on the legal end. I mean, obviously, I think the DC Shoe Company came around in 1994.
Yeah, it's way after DC Comics, but did DC ever
Yeah.
trademark their logo or anything?
I'm sure they did, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they
You
have
know,
to. Why would that shoe company be bullying DC Comics around and make them change their logo?
well, yeah, I think maybe they're going back to the old school logo because I don't know. I really don't know. But I think it you know, requires further research. She didn't know either. She just knew there were some legal issues, and I like that they've gone back to the old school logo. That, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And every logo they've come up with since that logo has sucked.
Yeah.
You know,
they've all been terrible.
I mean, one looked like a fucking aluminum can being opened. That was maybe the new 52. I don't.
Yeah, the aluminum can being opened. I can see why. I can see why the DC shoes is getting on them about it. It's the letters D and C with a single star, and the aluminum can one is like a swoosh with a single star next to letters D and C.
The one that had the problems. I don't know, but there was that. I know Robert Downey Jr. was revealed as Dr. Doom. You guys are going to talk about that. I wasn't there. I don't know anything. My friend interviewed Harrison Ford for the Manila Times, and so he came out. They did their. So what they do is they have their reveals to Hall H. You know, when they come out, and everybody screams and hollers, and nobody, like, yeah, I mean, I think we all knew Harrison Ford was going to be in the movie.
Well, he's Red Hulk, right? He's
right.
Commander. What's his name? I forget.
Thunderbolt Ross.
But Harrison Ford, in particular, doesn't enjoy going to Comic-Con. So, you know, that was a surprise that he was going to be there. But after they do their big reveal to the audience, then what they do is when they go off stage, they go off to this little area on the side where all the press are, and the various, you know, like Hollywood Reporter and LA Times, and she's with the Manila Times, and she asked him about because this is not his first time playing president. You know, he's been Air Force One, and now he's President Ross, and so she asked him what was there. I don't know what his answer is, but she asked him what was different. She said he was very engaged in the answer, so that was cool. Because he's not always engaged. Sometimes you get like an eye roll, Harrison Ford, and like, oh, next, you know. So that'll be happening. I was only there for Saturday, so you know, I achieved everything I wanted to do, unless something was sold out that I wanted, but I can live without it. Had a lot of people asking me about Guns A-Blazing coming back, and I've already had a story idea, but I kind of had a lightning shock epiphany this morning because so many people had asked about it. I was like, okay, and I was like, oh, because you know, a lot of times when you do a sequel to stuff, you're retreading, and I thought of something that's going to be totally different, totally new, but familiar in the sense of hanging out with those two characters, which are kind of autobiographical characters, not in a J.D. Vance sort of way, but there's not a hillbilly lullaby, but in a way that they when we did the first Guns A-Blazing book, we lived out our male power fantasy, if you will, of time travel and having sex with cave women and stuff. So some different things. Where are you going, Shane? We lost. Oh yeah.
Accompanied with a 10-inch vinyl.
That's my big 10-inch.
Yeah. Look at that.
Have you listened to it?
Yeah.
Well, we got to keep it tight to an hour, so we'll talk about that later.
Exactly. As well as real quick, because I know you're probably on your way going doing stuff. Give us an update on A Shadow Called Danger real quick.
Every week there's a new installment. There'll be a new installment tomorrow morning. I think you've been following along. We're up to episode 9. I'm gonna collect what's out so far and put it all in one handy spot, because then you don't have to scroll down and see where everything is. It hasn't gotten there yet where we're paralleling the times we're living in, but we're living in some very exciting times politically. And we picked up a sponsor for the book. Some people have given us the money to do it. It's the Heritage Foundation. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they want us to spread the word on Project 2025. So we're really happy to have their money and pushing behind us.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's good. So real quick, we can follow along on your Instagram, Atomic Basement. Obviously, follow all of them. Jeffrey's Comics. Just the social media rundown real quick, and Shadow Called Danger. Where else can we find it at?
My own Facebook page, and then we're looking to have a more kind of dedicated platform for it soon. Yeah.
Are you gonna print it when it's all done?
Yeah, that's the plan. But it's at least gonna be 64 pages. So if you're talking a page a week, it's gonna be about a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do want to put it in print. I mean, Brad is Raphael, making comics with Raphael. Raphael's my best friend. Brad is the most professional artist I've worked with, where he challenges me. I mean, not that Raphael didn't, but when I send Brad 1 page of script, he's got 2 pages of questions. And I love that. I like that dynamic, because they're not dumb questions. They're good questions. And they're things that I think about, and it's challenging as a writer to have that, A lot of times, people ask those questions once it's too late, once the book's in people's hands or the movie's on the screen. Why did you do that? I don't know. I wish somebody would have thought to ask me that before we committed, So Brad is great in that, and it's not the first time we've collaborated, but this is the most intense collaboration we've had. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad it's coming along, and we hope to see it and get in our hands in print soon.
Amen.
Hell yeah. Real quick, Mike, before anything else happens, what are the books you read this month? Give us like 4 books you read, or whatever you had a good time reading so far.
Yeah, well, let me talk a little bit about a panel I went to.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It was the Frazetta panel, the Frank Frazetta panel.
Ooh,
and I wasn't able to. Well, I didn't have the CD to hand off, but the Sumerian CD. But
sorry, I forgot to do that.
That's okay. It's okay. The panel was great. It was mostly Frank Frazetta's granddaughter Sarah was doing it.
Okay.
But if you look on my Facebook,
1 second.
You'll
I actually
see.
have the. If you could see this, I actually have your pictures pulled up right now.
So Conan is a character from 1930s Weird Tales. Gosh, I don't know if he predates Superman. Somebody could fact check me on that. But Conan the Barbarian, they were in Weird Tales magazines, and he had a fan base, but it wasn't like it was. And they collected some. They put them out in books later.
Yeah, 1932.
Yeah, so he's older than Superman. That's something I bet none of us knew.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so he's like 6 years older than Superman. But anyway, so he's not a superhero, so it doesn't totally matter. But it kind of matters, because look, that means he's more enduring than Superman, which is, I'm going to talk to the marketing department over at Heroic and let them know this. He's older than Flash Gordon, I think. And so Frank Frazetta in the mid to late 60s, and Jeffrey's dad was a huge Frazetta fan. I liked Frank Frazetta, but Jeffrey's dad taught me to love Frank Frazetta, and I'm sure he taught Jeffrey to love Frank Frazetta too.
Mm-hmm.
And he painted 8 paperback covers for these Conan paperbacks, which in turn inspired, number one, Alfred Schwarzenegger to want to, I think, so they say, work on the physique that he worked on. I mean, Conan one thing, but Frazetta painted a lot of other things too. And the men were fucking the manliest men you could ever see, and the women were gorgeous. I'm married to one of them. Yeah. So these paperbacks were instrumental in the Marvel Comics doing in the 70s. Barry Windsor Smith, Roy Thomas learned about Conan through the Frazetta paperbacks. And it's just a matter of, it's funny, you know, you can have something and put it out one way and maybe it doesn't hit, but then you put some sort of new shine or some new perspective or angle on it, like having Frank Frazetta do the cover on these stories that have existed since the 1930s, and it takes on a whole new meaning and a whole new relevance and a whole new interest, you know? It's kind of cool, but as a creator thinking about that shit. But anyway, the Frazetta always modified his paintings even after they were printed, after the books were printed. And he didn't do a whole new painting. He would just paint over the original. And so in this panel, they had the original paperback covers, which would be the painting he submitted, and then all the ones that he retooled and did over and over years later. So you could kind of see where it started, and where it was printed, and where it ended. And I got before and after shots of all of them. And he touched each and every one of those 8 paintings are different by the end of his life, because he was messing with them all the way up till, you know, the early 90s.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. So it's cool to, if you get a chance, look really closely, look at the faces, especially. He was tweaking those faces, and he added a neck. The cover you're showing there, that's the painting he submitted. But then later he realized that he doesn't have much of a neck, so he repainted it and added a neck in on it. Yeah. And Sarah, his granddaughter, took us through each and every one of those things. It was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But you guys want to talk about Dr. Doom, and if we have time after that, I'll try to think of a comic. I've been reading some comics. I read Peep Show and stuff like that, but I want you guys to talk about stuff that's relevant this week. And then if we have time, I'll
all right, we'll do our comics at the end then, because there's a lot of
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of Comic-Con news. Let's go to it. I have a bunch of tabs pulled up. Let's go to the first one. Eisner's.
Yeah, Transformers won for Best Writer Artist. And Nightwing won Best Single Issue. Those are 2 books that I always push on people and try to recommend as much as I possibly can, because I think they're both pretty friggin' great comic books, and just both have something really special and unique and new about them. Because you can say there's nothing new under the sun, but there's still ways to make something feel fresh and unique, and both of those books absolutely have that.
Never heard of Roaming, Best Graphic Album. Painter.
What's it called?
Roaming?
Who did it?
Mariko Tamaki. Sorry if I'm just like butchering names here.
Yeah.
Best New Series, Somna. Never heard that.
From Distillery.
Oh, yeah, from Distillery?
Yeah.
Okay. Transformers also won Best Continuing Series.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, it's only 10 issues in, but I mean, I guess it's continuing. What about Limited Series, Pee Pee Poo Poo? But like you said, Best Single Issue One Shot, Nightwing 105. Best Anthology.
It's the issue that's entirely from the point of view of Nightwing, like literally first person perspective for the whole issue. It's really cool.
Nice. I remember this movie, or the
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
Watership Down.
Mhm.
Graphic album, short story, cover artist, Peach Momoko. Oh, wow.
My girl.
Yeah, Demon Wars. Oh, wow. I think I
Best
have
cover
that.
artist.
Yeah.
She does do a variant for every single Marvel comic book, every issue. So
Yeah.
You know what the
Nice.
first Marvel thing she did publish? You can fact check me on this.
no, what was it?
It was the Captain Marvel poster I commissioned her for back when I worked at that unknown place.
Mhm.
Did a signing, and she had not done. The only other thing she had done at that point was Grant Morrison had published some pages of hers in heavy metal, and I was
Yeah.
blown away by her art. We had a signing with her. I'll send you photos to prove it, because she drew my character too for my
Oh, wow.
birthday. Guns
Nice.
Ablazing, I have it. And then after that signing, her and her husband, her husband speaks better English than she does, so I
Mhm.
communicate with him. And Captain Marvel was coming out in theaters, and I felt it was important to find a good female artist
Yeah.
to draw Captain Marvel. And the only female artist I knew was Christy Shin, and I for damn sure wasn't going to have her draw that shit.
Mhm.
So I went all the way to Japan and found a good artist, Peach Momoko, to
Mhm.
do the Captain Marvel poster, and it's amazing. And
Yeah.
but that predated any of her published work.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I have
That's
the
awesome.
poster. I have the emails back and forth because her husband would say she's thinking of this, that. So I can show you the work in progress, and he's given me his blessing, not to
Mhm.
share the communication, but to show the work in progress of how that came about and the creative direction and all that. And this was before, shit, we paid her, I think, $350 to do that.
Oh, that's not
Which
too bad. That's a pretty
you
good
can't
deal.
get her to do a head sketch for that these days,
Yeah.
Yeah, but now she's 2 years in a row the best cover artist.
Yeah, wild.
Mhm.
Anyway, moving on. So that was just the Eisners. A quick one shot, real quick. Again, Transformers took home 2 awards, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the
moving
first
on.
time in its 40-year history it's won an Eisner Award.
Yeah, wow.
And
Moving
well
on.
deserved.
Marvel launches TVA #1 in December with Captain Carter, Gambit, and Loki. The Time Variance Authority is getting its own comic. That's pretty cool.
It's very cool, but it's also just an example of Marvel being able to strike while the iron is ice cold. Like the Loki show, first episode of the Loki show brings in the TVA. That was what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It looks cool. It looks like they're going to bring in alternate dimensions and have like a funny Gambit version. Captain Carter. Everybody loves Captain Carter. And then Spider-Gwen and Lady Loki, all these characters have certainly gained popularity, but yet again, it's like, why weren't you working this so that this came out when Loki #1 was still on TV?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm an absolute sucker for anything with time travel in it, so I'm definitely all for this.
I still haven't seen Deadpool, but aren't the TVA a big part of Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh, you didn't see Deadpool?
It's how they.
I didn't see
it's
Deadpool
how they
yet.
get him
Don't
to
spoil anything.
Without spoiling anything, it's how they get him to be able to jump around to all of the things.
Yeah. So.
It's but that's pretty much it. It's the delivery system for Deadpool jokes.
Gotcha. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it tomorrow.
I need to go see it too. Let's move on. So TVA, it's coming out on December 18th. Jeff Lemire and Diego Olotigu, right? Launch a new Justice Society of America?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. DC All In.
Tie in with Mark Waid's Justice League of America, which is the thing that I'm more excited about. But also Jeff Lemire is really the right guy to write a Justice Society book. So I think that's going to be pretty dang good.
So this is like what, C tier or C squad for the Justice League?
No, it's the Golden Age characters. Justice League wasn't invented until 1960, and Justice Society was invented in 1940, 41 maybe. And so it was the first superhero team ever. in the history of comic books. And so the Justice Society traditionally nowadays has also been the story of two generations, because the Golden Age characters are the only characters allowed to have children.
Yeah.
Nobody in the Silver Age generation is allowed to have kids, except Superman and Batman now. But it took a long time for them to have kids, whereas since the JSA were kind of out of time and from World War II, they were allowed to have kids. So that's why original JSA, that picture, and then the other picture is the kids.
These are all the kids.
So like those three on the bottom are the kids. I can't tell from the costume, but I think that's Hourman Jr., not the original Hourman. But then Jay Garrick is the Flash, but the Flash has a teenage super speed daughter that I'm sure is going to be part of this. Although they did show Jessie Quick, who is Johnny Quick's daughter. But anyway, it's about generations of superheroes, and that's what I'm sure this one's going to be based on those pictures.
Is Jeff Johns going to finish his run that he was doing?
I thought number 10 was the end.
Oh, is that the end? Okay, I thought it was supposed to be 12, but okay, maybe it's over then.
When is this launching? I'm trying to see a date. A
lot of stuff starting in October. I know that.
Yeah, this isn't even saying. They wouldn't. Anyway, I don't see a date here. Maybe we'll find one later, but I see nothing. Anyway, moving on. Also, we have the big reveal for Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
it's a big deal. I think it was pretty genius on Marvel's part, because they needed to find a way to get rid of Kang and to also not make anybody think about Kang anymore.
I heard the rumblings they were going to switch over to Doctor Doom, but I didn't know who was going to play him.
But this ensured that nobody is going to be talking about Kang ever again. Everybody is just on board, and it's also perfect. It's just a masterstroke from a business standpoint, because now all of the MCU fans that don't read the comics and don't understand anything about the comic books and don't want to or need to
are going to go for Robert Downey Jr.
Yes, they are completely back in, and MCU needed something to get people to rebuy back into it, because these last 6, 7, 8, 9 movies have all been mediocre to B- at best, and that's just not how they dominated the movie screen for so long. They dominated it by making A+ movies.
Yeah. So it seems like I don't mean to cut you off, Jeff. Go ahead. Sorry, finish up.
No, and this is just now maybe it's just banking on nostalgia, but it's bringing back one of the reasons they used to make A+ movies, which is both the Russo brothers directing it, which I thought was going to be the big news out of Comic-Con, but then they upped themselves and revealed Robert Downey as Dr. Doom.
So to that point, do you think they're going to have him? Because I saw there was the movie poster. I thought I had it pulled up, but he's holding an Iron Man mask in his hand.
No, it's a
photo, right?
No, the photo is him with the Dr. Doom mask.
No. There's the new. Where is it? Let me try and find it real quick. 1 second. This, so then I can look for it real quick. But go on, talk to us about a little history of Dr. Doom real quick while I find this for you.
Well, I mean, Dr. Doom is traditionally a Fantastic Four villain, but the next person he fights the most is definitely Iron Man. So there's some connection there. But I hope it's not just that he's like a Tony Stark variant in the MCU. I hope that's
what I'm saying. I can see him being a Tony Stark variant.
Yeah, but I hope that that's not what it is. Because
it
looks like it's gonna be. Whereas
did Dr. Doom ever do like a face-off kind of thing, like that Travolta Nicolas Cage thing where he
takes
a face before?
There's it's happened a couple times. In a series, a What If series where him and Iron Man switch brains.
Okay.
And then also for a year or two in the Fantastic Four comic book, Reed was stuck in Dr. Doom's body.
Okay.
And so there's been brain switch in Doctor Doom.
Can't find it.
And didn't he normally his face is mangled, right? That's why he wears the mask and shit. At the end of Secret Wars, first Secret Wars miniseries, he gets his face back, right?
Yes.
It's not a face-off thing, but he gets a normal face, right?
It's Reed's present to him.
That's his present. Oh, it's a nice present.
Reed remakes the universe and fixes it. And while he's doing it, he says, here's your chance, Doom. I'm fixing your face. I'm fixing every reason why you always use to be an asshole. Let's see what you do with it.
So
and then eventually some demons burn his face.
To continue on Doom real quick, we have this coming out, One World Under Doom, coming out in 2025. What's the speculation on this?
Well, I think it's going to tie into Blood Hunt. We haven't seen the last issue of Blood Hunt, but the second to last issue ends with a to be continued of him saying, "Oh, he'll save the world as long as Doctor Strange gives him the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme." And looking at this photo, he's doing some magic stuff, and he's got a big flowy cape, although he always does. But you know what I mean.
Wow.
And that kind of looks like he's got the Eye of Omagato on his chest there. And so I think this is going to be a Doctor Doom having the Sorcerer Supreme mantle, seeing what that does.
That would be cool. And then moving on to, like you said, Fantastic Four. They debuted the Fantastic Car because they announced the whole new cast of Fantastic Four with Pedro Pascal in there. I forget who else is in there. I don't know their actors' names.
Did you see that drone show they did with the giant Galactus?
Yeah.
Looming over
that was
San
so
Diego?
Cool.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, the drone show.
Yeah.
Definitely saw that. I saw pictures of that. That's cool. Any thoughts on the new Fantastic Four movie?
I'm excited. Galactus is a great villain. That they're doing it retro is really cool. Matt Shackman's a really talented filmmaker. So I have every reason to be excited. And we also know that Marvel knows how important it is to land this one because they've had so many misses so many times in a row.
Like 3 Fantastic Four flops. So
I meant just the MCU in general has had miss after miss after miss.
Yeah.
And they know how important.
2 weeks after Superman, which I think Superman's going to be great. I don't think one is going to harm the other. 2 weeks is a big enough of a gap in time.
Yeah.
But it does come out 2 weeks after Superman next year.
That seems silly.
Yeah,
that's
a little
too
tight,
close.
but I'm not sure who had that date first.
Yeah.
We'll see. It looks cool. I saw a picture of Galactus looking through a building or something like that. His eyes. And I'm gonna go see both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I'll see both the first weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But back to Doctor Doom real quick. You had mentioned about that Doom miniseries. One thing Marvel does is 2 reasons they do it. I think is you'll start seeing a lot. Like we haven't seen a Doctor Doom comic in about 5 or 6 years, right?
There was that one shot that just came out.
That one shot. That's what I'm saying. That one shot. We had that, and I was like, oh wow, we haven't seen Doctor Doom. And now I think you're going to see a lot of Doctor Doom because they want to, number one, build interest to, whoever doesn't know or remind people. And then also when the movie hits, they want to have about 10 or 12 different trade paperbacks of Doctor Doom to put out. So the
Doctor Doom's screwing with Mike right now. You cut out there, Mike. Doctor Doom was interference. Interference.
You're just gonna see a lot of Doctor Doom, and there's a lot of. I think there's with Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr., potential Iron Man sort of tie-in deal. There's a lot of crate digging that you can do with that because there's been like Little Jeffrey said, there's been a lot of Doctor Doom, Iron Man encounters and crossover kind of things, with the character. There's lots of things you can dig up in bins.
Nice. So we'll see how all that pans out. I'm excited to see what this comic comes out. Like you were saying, if he does take up the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme, the movie should be interesting. But Jeff, like you were saying, hopefully it's not just a Tony Stark variant, which I think it's going to be.
But even if it is, it still has to hate Reed Richards, so it has to be in the Fantastic Four movie.
Unless, do you think they wouldn't? They didn't give any other details of time period or anything, right? But is it supposed to take place in the current Avengers with Secret Wars? Because then I would be like, oh,
no, Fantastic Four. They've absolutely said it takes place in the 60s.
Yeah, that's in the 60s.
In the 60s,
it's got a subtitle now too, like First Steps or something like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, First Steps.
Yeah. So we'll see how all this pans out. Let's keep moving on. I think we got. Hold up. This is just. IGN did a whole big compendium of a bunch of articles that we could go through real quick. See if we missed anything. We talked about Doom and the cast. So Secret Wars 2027. How do you think?
We knew that. It was that they replaced the one before it with Doomsday.
Yeah. So this is Avengers Doomsday that's with Doctor Doom in it then?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Because I'm thinking...
And he's the bad guy in Secret Wars, so they're setting him up.
That's the DC crossover now?
Well, I think he's got to show up in Fantastic Four and then follow them into our universe.
So Giancarlo, I know Breaking Bad. He's done Star Wars, done lots of stuff. Great actor. He's about to be the leader of the Serpent Society. Is that like the precursor to Hydra or an offshoot of Hydra?
No, it's like, don't they worship snakes? That's a weird choice.
Seems like it.
So they worship snakes.
Yeah, in the comics, I just remember, I don't know if they predated what I was reading, but in the 80s, because he's playing the character Sidewinder, and in the Serpent Society, he was the leader and so that was like the Mark Grenwell era, was what I remember. So they were in a lot of issues of Captain America in the 80s, and Anaconda and Sidewinder are all snake-based villains. But I'm sure they're going to take the name Sidewinder and that actor, and they're going to do something a little more realistic with it than what you saw in the comics, just like they did with Batman Sleeper back in. I mean, what I've seen of Brave New World looks very reminiscent to me of the Winter Soldier movie, as far as the vibe and the kind of political espionage aspect. So it looks good to me. I hope it's going to be good.
Definitely seems like it. Thunderbolts, is that going to be a Marvel show, right? Is that
no, it's a movie.
It's going to be a movie. Okay, Thunderbolts. I know.
Yeah, I think it's like the next movie after. Yeah. It's the next movie after Cap, isn't it?
Okay.
It is. It's the one that comes out, the Free Comic Day weekend, unless they move it, but first weekend in May. So, that's all is gonna be right with the universe again next May, because for the last 20 years, except for this year, when y'all slept on Fall Guy, it's been a Marvel movie the first weekend in May, and Thunderbolts will be the first weekend in May next year.
Nice. I didn't watch Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings Amazon show. I watched a few episodes. And I was like, this is crap. Was not into it, so I don't really care about this. Do anybody care about this?
No, I don't have anything to say.
Not really.
All right. Moving on. The Boys. Have you guys been watching The Boys at all?
Yeah, I watched The Boys.
Yeah. People complain about season 4. I thought it was all right. I didn't mind it. But there is a Soldier Boy and Stormfront prequel coming.
I like it just because Jensen Ackles is great, and so seeing more of his character at Soldier Boy is going to be fun.
Yeah, he's going to be a straight up asshole. So that's gonna be cool. So when's that supposed to come out? There's no, I don't see anything, but set in the 1950s. That's cool. Creature Commandos. This is a DC Studios.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for that. That looks great. It's animated. James Gunn. I believe that go for the first time in media, right? On this trailer. And it reminded me a lot of the Suicide Squad movie that he directed.
Yeah, this looks like a Suicide Squad kind of. Well, obviously they're Belle Reeve. You have Amanda Waller there. So they're doing a Suicide Squad with just creatures. Oh, James Gunn's doing it? Oh, nice.
Yeah. James Gunn is overseeing it, and it's the first DC entry in the new James Gunn, helmed DC universe. So it's gonna tie into Superman as well. So
interesting.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's an animated movie or if it's an animated series. I think it's a series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It definitely looks like it. I like the animation. The animation's really good.
Animation's nice. Yeah, I think it'll be cool. I wasn't really interested in this at all until I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh yeah, of course I should have known it's gonna be cool.
Did you guys
James Gunn has not let me down yet.
Yeah, did you guys watch the Suicide Squad Isekai, the anime?
No, not yet.
Really
good.
On
my list.
Really good
about that.
Yeah, but what, Mike?
Oh, I guess my phone froze. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so Creature Commandos. I'm into it. I'm sold on that. I'm sold. December it comes out. So I wonder if they're gonna do a weekly thing. I think they have been doing weekly things for stuff on Max, but my whole take is DC's animation has never done me wrong. I feel like their animated movies are so strong compared to Marvel movies, but it's like flipped. The Marvel anime movies suck. DC animated's good, but then the live action are good for Marvel and they suck for DC. I mean, well, not all of them, but you get what I'm saying.
Most of them.
Yeah. Oh yes, and then here's the classic logo again with James Gunn on there. Oh, Mortal Kombat 1. It's actually that's kind of cool. That's my take on video games. You got Ghostface, T1000. Whoops. Oops. I just age gated myself by saying I'm not over 17. Real quick. Okay, wow, that's really stupid. Anyway, oh yeah, Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, I'm a big Star Trek nerd, so I'm down for all of the new Star Trek shows.
Okay, ladies, that is way too loud. How I can't even turn that down. Anyway, what's going on with this? Section 31?
Section 31 is like the deep cover spy portion of the Star Trek universe. And they're getting a show, so it's going to be a real political intrigue and like spies within the Star Trek universe.
Oh, nice. Star Trek's been leaning heavily into the comedy thing with the Red Shirts show. I never watched it. Did you guys watch any of that? Was that any good?
Was that Lower Decks or what?
Lower Decks.
Yeah, Lower Decks.
Lower Decks is
never watched it. I watched one and I wasn't enthralled by it. Maybe it's good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
but it is very referential to being a Star Trek nerd.
Okay, yeah, because
I would find it hard to enjoy if I didn't know all the references.
But they're doing live action comedy for it.
Well, it's a different, unrelated show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's like, they're doing another comedy. I guess Star Trek needs comedies, so they're like, let's do a sitcom. They did
a crossover of Lower Decks with Strange New World, right?
Yeah,
in
it was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, I just got the Blu-ray, so I'll check it out.
Nice. And then moving on to Starfleet Academy. What's this all about? A new show?
Yes, the new show. It's going to take place at the Academy. There's never been anything that really has taken place at the school. that trains people to become members
Paul
of
Giamatti's in it. That's cool.
Star Trek. So this is about coming of age version of Star Trek.
Who's in the cast? It's not Captain Kirk and those guys, is it? Or
no?
No. Who's in the cast?
Well, we just did that.
Oh, sorry.
No, here's the cast right here. If you want to see it again.
Oh, okay. All right. I can't. I'm on my phone. I'll look at it later.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. I haven't watched it. I didn't know it was even on season 3. You want to talk about this, Jeff?
Season 3 is.
I was able to jury rig.
It's a really fun show that predates the original series, and it just does a great job of mixing the kind of corniness of the original series, but also with the really heady sci-fi aspect of it as well. And it does a good balance of those two things.
Nice.
And then
I like that it's episodic. You can kind of pick up
yes
episode, and like Star Trek kind of lost their way, and now you have to watch these arcs. But this is like old school. Each episode is a story.
Very much so.
I don't like these little fucking things. I can't play the trailers because there's no fucking volume control on it, so I can't turn it down. It's like super loud. But Lower Decks got a new trailer as well.
For the last 5 years.
It's just, this one is a fantastic show, but I can only recommend it if you're a pretty big Star Trek fan.
Got it. Penguin. I'm excited for this.
Hi, I'm Colin Farrell. Check out.
An interesting choice to make a show out of this, but I think it's going to be good because.
But you know what I really want? It seems to me the DC universe is trying to be so grounded. Give me goofy superhero stuff. I want an actual penguin, you know?
Well, you're going to see that in the James Gunn stuff. The actual season.
Okay, good.
This is its own. It's a little confusing because you got this as its own Batverse, which I think they've just given it its name. I don't know what it is. Then you also have the Joker, the Lady Gaga Joker, which you're going to have a Joker in the next Batman movie. You're going to have a Joker in the musical Lady Gaga movie.
Yeah, I don't even know if any of that stuff's going to transfer over to this universe or if it's
No, of course not. It won't. No. So you got all these different Jokers and all, but it's fine because they're good,
Mm-hmm.
Or that looks good at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this looks good. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Let's see. Moving on. Watchmen Chapter 1. There's an animated show for it.
Hi, IGN.
Movies.
This is a movie. Moving on. So this is gonna be a direct adaptation of the actual book. So that's kind of cool. Deadpool, Wolverine, surprise Comic-Con appearances. That's kind of cool.
Here's the drone show we were talking about. Check that out.
Let's check this out. That's pretty cool.
Now, I haven't seen Deadpool Wolverine, but I did damn sure go get my Wolverine Fuck It bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I've been fucking that thing all weekend down here.
Man. They just came out with actual new Xbox controllers where it just there's they're cheeked up where they have a big ass on the back of it. It's pretty funny. That's cool. That was cool. Let's look at some.
Batman. There's a new Batman cartoon starting in a couple days.
The Cape Crusader.
Crusader, and my friend Leclerc saw. I haven't seen it. I want to see it, and I will see it. I guess on August 1st because that's when it comes out.
Nice.
And that's in a few days, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one.
We got to do a shotgun round because we're running out of time here because we still want to get to at least some comic picks. Let's look at the Magic Monty Python thing. I'm excited for this set. This is real cool.
There's at least 2 cards that are truly genius. This one.
Yeah.
And then there's the African swallow, but it's a double-sided card. It can be either the African swallow or the European swallow.
Yeah. Anyway, Lego Star Wars. That's kind of cool. Let's see what else is Yakuza live action. Okay, that was a game. That's kind of cool. They're gonna make that a live action. Doctor Who spinoff. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. Anyone else Doctor Who fan here? Moving
No,
on.
I don't understand any references. It's
No,
my nerdy blind spot. I just know nothing about Doctor Who.
Oh, you know new
Not
Transformers toys though.
I'm down.
That's cool.
They're Dinobots, but they're not the real Dinobots.
Let people have their fun. And look at this old school G.I. Joe stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. That's
I'll be excited when the G.I. Joes and the Transformers are made for the Skybound comic book versions.
Yeah. Oh, damn, they're redoing a bunch of Star Wars stuff. That's kind of cool. What is this?
Oh, no. They're going to have to send this one back. Is this a figure? It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, this is a figure.
That's
awesome
figure.
Marvel Legends.
Right?
I might have to get that.
Comic,
that's nice.
Cinematic. Yeah. Oh, did you guys see that that Wolverine Marvel Legends coming out with the Hugh Jackman head?
Let's see here. Oh, there's oh, look at this.
Ooh.
Sentinel.
Oh, I love a good Sentinel toy.
That's pretty cool.
Still have my 1992 Sentinel toy.
Oh, this is pretty cool. Uzumaki. It's a horror anime. Just real quick, the animation. This was I believe a manga adaptation of horror manga. It's pretty fucking cool. I'm excited for this. It's going to Adult Swim. Real creepy kind of
Yeah, if it's got the name Uzumaki on it, it means it's going to be fucked up.
Yeah, definitely. I'm all for it. Look at this.
What is that?
It's an Uzumaki horror anime. They're adapting all of his manga. Like, it looks pretty good. Anyway, this is coming out September 28th.
Where's it going to be at? Netflix? Okay.
Adult Swim. No, Adult Swim. BioShock, that was a cool game. Let's see what they do with that. Legacy of Kain, old school video game. Marvel Rivals. This was a pretty interesting game that just came out real quick. Marvel Rivals is like a squad-based kind of team-based game with superheroes and everything in it.
But now it has Jeff the Land Shark as a character. They spelled Jeff wrong, though. They had a real chance. They could have been a hit.
So definitely interesting. Gundam. Ooh, there's a live-action Gundam? No way. No way. I'm a huge I love old school Gundam Wing and everything, the anime.
Yeah.
But if they're actually coming out with a live action Gundam, I'm sold on that. Or okay, it's gonna be like, this animation looks pretty good. So it's a Netflix Gundam movie. Okay.
Better than that Watchmen we just saw, huh?
Yeah, this animation's really good, but it reminds me of like old school like PS1 like graphic anime kind or animation. Never mind, it looks kind of wonky. It looks like cutscenes from a video game kind of, but we'll see. That's kind of cool. I'll probably still watch it because I love Gundam. What is this? Oh, Last of Us. I liked Last of Us. She's got some figures. That's a little bust. That's kind of cool. Keep going. Mark Hamill is being Flying Dutchman and SpongeBob. High Republic, I don't really care for. I've tried to read it. It's whatever to me. You guys into it?
No, I can't dig the Star Wars comics.
No. What is okay? So DC brings back Justice League after Absolute Power.
That's really exciting because it's Mark Waid and Dan Mora doing Justice League Unlimited specifically, and it seems like they're trying to play off of the cartoon, the old cartoon where the Justice League was everybody. Yeah. And so if the mission called for Dr. Fate and Supergirl and Black Lightning to be on it, then they were in that particular story.
Nice. I don't know.
So I think that's a genius way to do Justice League, and Mark Waid could certainly handle such a big, unwieldy idea like that and do it very well.
Nice.
So that I think is big news in the comic book industry, because there hasn't been a Justice League comic book for about 2 years now.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Rooster Fighter. I have no clue what that is. An anime adaptation. We'll see what happens. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Beloved Mutants. That's kind of cool. Tales of the TMNT. Do you recognize any of these guys?
No.
Okay.
Oh, the robot.
Yeah, moving on. D&D Lego sets. Oh, some Simpsons figures? That's kind of cool. Some premium
they've
figures.
done Simpsons figures, though.
Huh?
I mean, they've done Simpsons figures before.
Yeah, these look like premium final figures. Oni, Precipice the Future of EC Comics. Okay, and
I like that somebody has the license for EC Comics, although I don't know why they're making new titles instead of using the classic EC titles. Like, why are you buying the EC name if you're not going to use Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror and all of those classic titles that defined EC?
Who knows? Who knows? But that's probably a big gist of it. I think we covered the main stories. So I'll switch this back over to this. Real quick before we all close out, what books have you guys been reading this month? Give me some books. Give me some rundowns. Real quick. Let's go, Mike.
Mike,
what
you want to
got?
go first?
Little G, you first.
Okay. Picks that I would have is I really liked Ultimates #2. I was kind of questioning where this book was going to go, and also kind of where the Ultimate Universe is going to go in general. And I feel like this book really painted a detailed picture of what the Ultimate Universe kind of looks like now. I thought it was a great Captain America story and a great Ultimate story. Really gave me a lot of faith in the title going forward. Made me really excited about that book in particular. It's now, for me, it's Spider-Man, and then below that is Ultimates, before going down to Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate Black Panther.
Okay. Mike, anything?
Yeah, there's a pair of books that I'm gonna try to be all esoteric and avant-garde this week. There's a couple books from Fantagraphics that I've been checking out. They're old indie comics that have gotten some new releases. One is Pete Baggs' Hate.
Yeah, Hate Revisited.
Huh? Sorry? Back in the day, it was like a slacker dude, kind of like a grungy kind of 1990s slacker. But it's a long time later, and this guy, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
You keep breaking up.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Yeah, I got to. But anyway, Hate and Peep Show are these two books that were formerly by, guys in their 30s, kind of counterculture comics, but now we're old, and they're old, and it's kind of interesting to see these counterculture guys. But one of them passed away. Joe Matt passed away at the drawing table, and
shit.
yeah, but it's a really good issue. It's fun. It's weird. I have a friend, Chris Brandt, and he's a weird dude, and I love him. But this comic reminds me a lot of him. The guy just says what's on his mind directly, very directly. And this is somebody putting it in the printed page like that. Not always the most politically correct comic, but it's good. So
Nice.
Peep Show and Hate are two that I'm checking out. And, my regular Batman Dark Ages, but how many times do I have to tell you how great that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'll just do a quick rundown. This is the biggest surprise of the month. I never read DC Kingdom Come. This was really good. I finished it. A bunch of superheroes acting like they're gods and everything. They form a superhero prison and everything, and they're fighting the younger generation, and then they're coming to terms with everything. They can't control them all. Really good shit. Thanks for recommending that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know why that wasn't my... That is this again, quintessential comic book, I think.
I'd say it's the definitive DC comic.
Yeah. This is really good. And just the artwork and everything, simply amazing.
And now that guy is writing Justice League.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's so good.
pretty exciting.
To me, this was really well written to where I was like, "Whoa, is this really like a superhero comic?" Like, and I don't know. It was like, I don't know, just the way it was written, it just didn't feel like, a DC comic to me. Really good stuff. Keep going on with Feral. Absolutely love Feral. Please, everybody, read Feral if you like stray dogs. You'll like Feral.
That was a shocking issue.
And then moving on with Void Rivals into the Energon universe. Anything with all the new G.I. Joe stuff, Transformer stuff, all ties in, but new issue of Void Rivals was really good. This was something I really enjoyed this. If you guys haven't read this, definitely check this out. Falling in Love on the Path to Hell.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Image comic. I absolutely love it because it's tells two stories where you got a samurai and then you got like a gunslinger, and just not to do any spoilers, they're in two different opposite sides of the world, and they wind up in this weird trippy place. I won't say how it gets there, with all these like demons and everything, and they're trying to, that's the start of it. Two people from it's weird. Bunch of warriors get sent to this different strange land, but it's so good. The artwork's great. If you like Duggan's writing it, Brown, O'Halloran, Sabino, and Gray, but really good stuff. Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, really good book. That is the first issues out, so it's perfect time to jump right in and continue with, Mike knows Napalm Lullaby.
Yes, this issue finally gave us some of the story.
Rick Remender, really good stuff, as well as I still want to pick up Grommets. I need to.
Yeah, you got to get that. That's a great book.
Anyway, those are my picks for the month. There's so many more, but this is what I just narrowed it down as. Anything else? Any last minute things you guys want to do before we close off here? And we thank everybody for joining us.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking real quick to what you said about Kingdom Come, thank you for reminding me that I'm old enough and been collecting comics long enough that there's a whole new generation.
Did we just lose Mike?
I think we might have. I think he was going to comment on how old he was because he collected that book as it was coming out, just like I did. We actually had.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah. I said there's a whole new generation of readers that have come up that haven't read Kingdom Come. Thank you for reminding me of that. I mean, that's just a book that, I was around when it came out, and I just assumed everybody that's ever touched comics already read that book, and there's others like that too, That's wild.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's like, I don't recommend it to people because I just assume that if you are talking to me about comic books, you have read Kingdom Come.
It's like a Bible.
I say, to that point, let's give it a little sneak peek. I think the next episode should be, or maybe a standalone episode where we do it recorded, quintessential guide to getting into comics, whether it be graphic novels or one-shots or whatever. Just we each pick our quintessential picks to get somebody into comics. So if
I love that. How to get people into comic books.
Yeah. So if somebody's watching this and they're like, man, I really want to get into comics, but there's so much out there, we can give you the definitive books, like, Batman Long Halloween, Kingdom Come.
I think we should kind of sketch it out and make sure we do like one from each category.
Oh, yes.
So like how to get into comic books, and it's not just all of us talking about Batman.
No.
Let's do one Batman and one
independent
Spider-Man.
Comics.
We'll work it out behind the scenes.
Yep. But anything else before we go? I think we kept this to the full hour-long show. Please, this will be recorded, and people can watch this whenever you want. Please be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and do all of those kind of things. Be able to, their socials will be in the description down below, but please be sure to follow Jeff at Jeffrey's Comics and Mike at Atomic Basement on Instagram, and his new book coming out, A Shadow Called Danger. And Jeff is always, if you're in the Southern California area, he's on Tuesdays at Santa Monica Brew Works, right?
Yep.
Go there and get some comics, and then on Wednesdays he's at Collectors Legion in Redondo Beach.
Yeah,
and I'm usually there with him. I'll be there with him.
Yeah. So if you ever see us there, feel free to stop by and say hi.
Come say hi.
Yeah.
Come hang out.
Yeah. But until next time, everybody, take it easy, and thank you for being a comic book geek like us.
Yeah. Stay nerdy, everybody.
Bag and board 'em, baby. Bag and board 'em.
Cheers.